Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First order of business is the approval of minutes from the February meeting. Is there any changes or corrections? Any changes or corrections?
I'll make a motion to accept them as submitted.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the meetings, they're accepted. Next thing is correspondence. I've got a letter from the planning board on February 12th. I'll read it so you understand. It says, Dear Chairman Diaz, the board is aware the applicant Amanda Vesta owns a 1.12 acre lot located at 9 Cliffside Court in Garrison, where the property owner is proposing to construct a 2-bedroom, 1-family house in the currently vacant parcel. It is located in the town's RZ zoning district and also within the Upland Drive and Ridge development districts overlay zone. It's severely constrained by town-regulated steep slopes. The matter previously came before your board for relief from various requirements, and he tells you the requirements there. Due to violation notices issued by the town CEO, code enforcement officer, I guess, our processing of the matter has been suspended since last year. With these violations now cleared, the applicant has recently appeared before a board to reactivate their site plan application. However, before we initiate further review, due to the time which has transpired, we are seeking an understanding from your board as to the status of your deliberations on the application. Both the Town Conservation Board as well as the Planning Board share concerns relating to the major disturbances required within town-regulated steep slopes, the significant extent of retaining walls needed to construct the driveway, the house, and septic system. Given this and recognizing the Town Board's primary object to protect the community's health, safety, and welfare, in enacting such enhanced environmental regulations, we would appreciate an understanding of your considered deliberations leading to your approval of the applicant's variance requests. It would be helpful, our board, if you could, within the next 30 days or so, not to halt, to respond and not hold up our processing of this application. I responded to Mrs. Zuckerman on my letter of March 6th. Dear Chairman Zuckerman, I'm responding to your letter February 12, 2026 regarding above captioned property. The applicant is asking the Planning Board for a site plan approval of same. The Planning Board referred to the Zoning Board of Appeals the following two matters. These two matters were appealed to us over a year ago, a year and a half ago, and we decided on them. On appeal number 972, the applicant sought a variance from the ZBA to construct a dwelling on slopes greater than 20% and a driveway on slopes between 15 and 35%, with some exceeding 35%. For the reasons outlined in resolution appeal number 972, the ZBA granted the variance. On appeal number 975, the applicant sought a variance from the ZBA to allow for impervious surface coverage of 19.6%. Properties in the Upland Drive, Ridge Road development districts, maximum impervious surface is listed as 10%. For the reason outlined in resolution appeals number 975, the ZBA granted the variance. Resolutions 972 and 975 have been sent to the Planning Board and the Conservation Board via email on February 20th by the ZBA Secretary. The variances on both appeal numbers 972 and 975 were granted based on the ZBA's application for the criteria of the granting area variances set forth in Town Law, Section 267-B, Article 3, and is specified in the resolutions. As of this date, as the date of this letter, there are no other applications before the Zoning Board of Appeals regarding the Vista residential site plan. Now, what that town law is basically speaks to the five, references we use in our 5.5 zoning, so all of that. Adam, want to give us a little more overview on that? Adam?
Yeah, well, it's in the town law. It has the criteria for the grant of area variances, which are the 5 factors, which the board went over and reviewed for each of the variance applications that were referred to us by the planning board. And the details of the variances and the reasons why we granted the variances are indicated in both resolutions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on any of that? Any questions? You good? Okay. Next order of business is a public hearing for Michael LiCalsi, 41 Pond View, Garrison. Okay. This is the continuation of the public hearing from last month. The application proposes a 16 by 32 foot, 512 square foot shed with second floor on foundation. The application proposes as a non-accessory use construction of a shed on a vacant lot adjacent to a single-family residence in another municipality. The issue is here, most of his property is in Cortland. It's just this one piece where he wants to put the shed on is in Philipstown. Since the proposal does not comply with the town of Philipstown zoning charter 175D10 Article 4, the application is denied. Now, you were here last month, and you gave us plans.
Yep.
And the plans we told you were no good because you had bedrooms were listed in there. I know you weren't planning on putting the bedrooms in there, but that was listed in the article.
Right, bedrooms and the decks, so those
Right.
are removed from here.
So you presented new plans, and they're dated February 10th. You
Yep.
got new plans,
Yes.
okay. And there's no bedrooms in there or anything
No
else like that?
bedrooms, no.
There's no bedroom. We're done with the bedrooms, right?
No, that's it.
Because the shed, it's not
Just
gonna,
the
we're not gonna live in this, right?
No,
We're not
no.
gonna rent it out. Okay, that's right. I see you still kept the deck, though.
No, no.
You know, it shows, well, what does that show? Just a landing and that? and-
Yeah, so it's stairs, the stairs are gonna be on the outside, not the inside.
Okay.
So the stairs go up to a 5 by 6, I guess you can call it a deck, but I call it a landing. So that's it, yeah.
And that's where it's complete. How are you gonna get upstairs in the winter?
What do you mean?
Oh, with the snow? On those stairs?
I
Gonna be a
don't
little
really
tough. Okay,
I haven't really thought of it that far.
all right. We got everything else, and is there anybody here who wants to speak towards this? No, okay. Anybody have any questions on it before I start to?
I do.
Huh?
What's the maximum height of the structure when it's completed? Because I didn't find it on the plan.
I'm trying to think if, from what I remember, it was like 92 or 94 feet, I think. No, that doesn't.
No, that
doesn't
wouldn't be,
make
it
sense.
wouldn't be that high.
No, it can't be that high.
So the first floor is 10, 10 feet. Second floor is 8 feet, but then you've got the roof.
Roof.
Yeah, so it
that's-
must be like,
The roof is what's missing on the,
it's not on here? Wait a
or
minute.
did I miss it?
I guess he's looking for the height, the entire height.
It's- On page, let's see, page 9?
I don't see the height either.
I see, on page 9,
Page 9?
no, so I don't see a total, oh, wait, no, I don't see a total height, but I see, what is it? Bottom of the footing. Oh, that's underground, though.
All right, so the first floor you're saying is 10 foot?
From the foundation, yes, from the floor of the foundation, they're gonna put up a 2-foot foundation wall and then build
and
on
then-
top of that.
And then 8-foot ceiling?
Correct.
So I got 10 foot there.
Yep.
And then I guess above, the second floor is probably 8 foot also.
Correct.
Let's see, I'm looking at it. And then the roof, so I was talking about
Yes.
10, 16, 26. And I don't know what is the height? 35, 30?
It's 40.
It's 40. 40 feet, right?
Should be like 5 foot.
Huh?
I think it should be about 5 foot at the peak. Yeah, because it's a 7-on-12 pitch. So,
So you think the attic's about?
because how wide, it's 16 feet wide. Yeah, it should be probably not more than 5 foot.
Not more than 5 foot, so we're talking about what? 10
8,
and
10,
8, 10, 10, 10. So about 35 feet
At the most.
at the most, right?
Yeah.
34 feet, 33 feet, because I'm putting it around 40, okay. We just want to make sure it's not over the height.
Okay.
I can see it being over the limit. And then you have to come back to us.
Right.
Oh,
I just, a number on your page 10, look at page 10. They show inside stairs, that's what confused me.
they show inside?
Page 10. See where it shows you inside stairs going up there?
see the stairs. You're saying that's it? My
Yeah,
copy
look
is
like
very
it-
tiny.
Yeah, look like inside stairs, but
Only because if you look at the, I mean, if you look at page, what is it? Page 5, that's what it is. Those are the stairs.
Page 5?
That's the outside, yeah. And
Oh,
page
okay,
6, too.
so you're
yeah.
saying that there is page 5 is the outside stairs, and what they're showing is the outside stairs on, but it looks like it's inside, is what I'm
Could just be a
showing.
generic,
Huh?
could be a generic detail we have.
Generic detail if they have, because
Yeah.
they just build these buildings.
Yeah, it's probably just like a copy
They
and
got a
paste.
is this like a preset thing type of thing, or?
I guess, I don't know. They,
Prefab?
I'm not even sure if it's prefab. Usually the smaller units are prefab.
Right.
Because this one is large, I think they have to,
Have to put it together.
yeah,
Maybe
Like a module.
Kits or something.
yeah, something like that,
Yeah, like a
yeah.
module, okay. All right, since there's no questions from the audience, I'm gonna go over the 5 factors that you answered here. The questions, we use these 5 factors to determine, help us determine the variance. Number 1, will an additional change be produced in character of the neighborhood? Will a detriment to nearby property be created by granting to area variance? And your answer was no, the shed is being built northeast of the main house against a mountain. So I don't even know if your neighbors could see it from where it is, I'm not sure.
They can see it from the other side of the road. So there's a road here, and then there's another road, and you could, when you look, you could probably see it in the winter. You'll never see it in the summer.
Never seen it somewhere, okay. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? No, there's only location to put the shed. It is the most level area of the mountain. Okay, now I looked at your survey, you have some property next to your house, but is that all rocky there?
Yeah, so.
It's hard to tell. I
You
looked at
can't see
property,
it in
but
the
it's hard to
survey.
tell.
You can only, if you go there, you'll see it.
Yeah, I did.
So about 30 feet from the house, we have
Right.
a patio.
Right.
And then the mountain starts. It goes up about 150 feet.
Right.
And it's just rock.
It's just
It would
rock.
be nice. We have like 2 acres there, but you can't use it.
Yeah, 2 acres of rock, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, is requested area variance substantial? No, the footprint is 16 by 32. I pretty much agree with that. I don't think it's gigantic. Will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district? No, the design of the shed will fit to the neighborhood. Location will require minimum disturbance. I kind of agree with you on that because it's kind of lost in the back of the house there with the mountain and everything else like that.
Right.
Far as
Plus,
being seen.
plus it's going to look like a little house. It's not going to look like a barn or anything. It's just a little
Right.
house, yeah.
Little house with no bedrooms.
No bedrooms.
Is the alleged difficulty self-created? No, the entire property is a rock ledge, and this is the only spot that is level enough for a foundation. All right, well, like I said, I took a look at the property, and you do have a lot of rock, so I have to agree with you on that one. Is there any questions for anybody on the board? Any board members? Any questions? Adam?
Yeah, I mean, just technically, under the code, the applicable provision of the code, what's required is a special permit, because technically this is on a lot that doesn't have, the lot that's in Philipstown doesn't have a principal use.
Right.
So, just for the sake of completeness, just to go over the special permit factors, very simple. The first factor is, will the proposed construction be in keeping with the uses allowed in the SR zoning district? In other words, will it be consistent with the other uses in the neighborhood?
I don't know, what are the other uses in the neighborhood?
People have sheds, other people have sheds and so on and so forth in any area.
Oh, yeah, I would think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
That's all.
That's pretty much what I'm saying.
The other,
In a legal, in a lawyer way.
yeah. Yeah, not trick questions, and I believe, but just to go over them so the record is complete. Is it correct that the shed will not result in excessive off-premises noise, dust, odor, solid waste, or glare, or create any nuisances?
It shouldn't, because it's up against the mountain, it's far away from,
Right.
there isn't even another house next to
Right.
it, so, yeah.
The other factor is, will the shed increase traffic or burden on other roads?
No, because it's my property. That's the only way you can get to it.
Will the shed be accessible to fire, police, and emergency vehicles?
Yeah, I mean, from
If your
my
house
driveway-
is, the shed will be.
Yeah, yeah.
Will not overload public water, drainage, or sewer systems?
There is no water going to it.
Okay.
And, no, the drainage is just straight off the mountain, you know, it's just straight down.
Will not degrade water courses, natural resources, or ecosystems?
I don't think it should. There's no reason why.
Okay. And will be suitable for the property upon which it is proposed.
I think so.
And finally, will be compatible with surrounding uses and will not affect natural, historic, or scenic resources of the town.
No, it should fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it? Any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Nobody in the audience? At this point in time, I make that the permit, special use permit, all right, is what we're talking about? Special use permit be approved?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Aye, okay, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, now wait, before you go, we're gonna give you, here, hold on. Used to have to wait another month to get this, but since our secretary and code enforcement wants to work together, I'll give you this, you could take that to the building inspector tomorrow and get your permit. Okay? You're all set.
All right, thank you very much.
Now, good, enjoy your wood shop. Okay, next one is, let's see. Alison Merriam, 29 Old Manitou Road. Okay, and you are Alison? Okay, and the applicant is seeking a variance for a 6-foot fence. The setback you were denied because the application proposes a 6-foot fence along the property on Route 9D. The application does not comply with 17530H, Article 1, at property line. Note the setback would not apply for fences under 6 feet. Therefore, the application this time is denied. Want to tell us a little about what you're trying to do here?
Yes, definitely. We'd like a 6-foot fence, partially for privacy, partially for acoustic privacy, mostly for peace of mind, to establish a barrier between our lot, which is quite sloped, and the busy street of 9D. And I understand that a law was grandfathered where formerly a property owner could have a 6-foot fence. So I wanted to seek the variance in the hopes that we could install one as well.
Right. I see that the fence is, you got 357 foot of fence. Is that what you're going to put?
Along the
Along the whole,
end of
the
our
whole- the whole
property.
front of the line. That's right on 9D itself.
Exactly.
How far is it away from the street? Yeah, roughly.
It would be the same distance as our neighbor, which I believe is roughly 10 feet.
Your neighbor has a similar fence. I know there's a couple of fences down there
Exactly.
that are 6 foot. Now, do you come out in a driveway behind that fence? Would that block your view at all?
It won't block most of the view because the lot is very steep, and our driveway is on Old Manitou Road on the east side of our property. 9D forms the western barrier.
Right, okay. This is a public hearing. Any questions or anything from anyone in the audience? No? Okay. Any questions so far? Board members on this?
Ask you a question. Since this is not on your driveway, and you're putting the fence up for privacy, do you have a problem with light off of 9D and things of that sort shining into your house? Is that what the problem is?
I definitely see the lights from 9D, but it's more a visual barrier. I guess for light, but more privacy than like any sort of auditory like disturbances or visual disturbances. No, I just mean visual disturbances, not auditory. We also do hope that some of the road noise may be muffled by that 6-foot fence.
Okay.
What are the 5 factors that we use to help us to make a determination? Will an undesirable change be produced in the character of the neighborhood, or will a detriment be nearby properties be created by the granting of the area variance? We do not believe, your answer, we do not believe so because there are existing 6-foot fences nearby, and there will be little impact to the beauty, usage, or environment. I wrote that many times. There are a number of 6-foot fences all along their property, so I agree with you on that. Can the benefit sought be achieved by some method feasible to pursue other than the area variance? You answered no, and I guess I kind of have to agree with that. I don't see how we could do it. Is the requested area variance substantial? Well, it's 2 feet higher than the 4 foot, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like 50%. Is it was substantial or not? The thing is, you're looking for privacy on the road, I understand that. Will the proposed variance have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district? And your answer, we do not believe so. I don't believe so either, because there are other fences, you know, in the same height along 9D there and the same length, so it'll probably blend in with the neighborhood, I guess, right? Okay. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? This condition shall be relevant to decision, but not necessarily preclude the granting of the variance. And you said no. Well, everybody answers that question wrong sometimes, okay? Because it could be yes, because you didn't have to put it up.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That was self-created, yes.
That's what trick questions they put in there, but, no, I understand completely. Are there any other questions, anybody? Any board member have any questions? Okay, at this point, I make a vote on the variance. Vote to grant it,
Yep.
I vote to approve.
and I vote to grant it. You're all set. Let me sign your thing here, hold on. Allison. Okay, this is approval. You don't have to wait for your thing for resolution. And you can take that to the, you know, a building department and get your permit. Good luck. Okay. Okay, what do we got next? New business. Yes, so new business, Mr. Prentice. Nat? Yes. Okay. The zoning books we have are dated 2011. Okay, in the last 15 years, I'm sure the zoning has been updated and all, and so on and so forth. And we don't have, like one member doesn't even have a book. So I'd like you to request the board, in town board next time, new zoning books. Okay. Don't get excited. That's what you're there for. That's what you're there for. Don't let them beat you up. They're fighting for us. Okay. Okay. You're in charge, you know. I mean, I'm throwing you to the wolves out there, you know. I mean, let's see how many. Well, we need to have 5 board members, and the attorney 6, and Charles, the secretary, is 7. Would you think you would require one? Seeing that you're on the board, I would. So that's 8 copies. So ask them if they could. I don't know what they cost, but that's your job. Okay, thank you. And let us know next month. Okay, they're going to see how they're going to say, "Oh, you kidding?" Oh, that's for sure. It will. When you say, "What? You kidding me?" All right. Any other business? No. Make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.